Hello and welcome to another Raggy's Homebrew video. So today, finally, I'm doing this Pear wine. The Pear wine experiment, we'll call it, 'cause I've been looking at things on the internet. So what I've done, according to the internet, you chop off the top, chop off the bottom, and now I've just sliced it off. I've left the bloody seeds in, because to be honest, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're going to get in the wine at the end. And so here we go. All chopped up, loads of pears from my own pear tree, and I thought it was a flipping apple tree. So I've got the hot water on the boil. Here we go, because obviously there's things you don't need to see. So that's boiling away. I'm now going to add all the pears to it. So, you bastard. So, and just dash all the pears in, get them nice and mushy, and then add them into the fermentation bucket. I may be doing this totally arse about face and wrong, but you know, whatever it is. So these are going in. Whether I've got too many, we shall see. And I might have to add some more water as well. So I'll show you in a sec. Once they're all in, I use the biggest pan as well. And I've just tasted one of the pears and they're bang on nice as well. And you know, we've had the tree like 4 or 5 years and I've done nothing with it. I've not had a single pear off it. And this year, with lockdown, they've just exploded. It's been very, very fruitful, shall we say. But yeah. So there you go. I can't even fit them all in. So I may just dash these in the bloody bucket, rather than waste. So yeah, dash them in. Let's get some of that pear stuff going. So I'm going to add a bit more water to that. Just so they bubble up really nice. And I'll leave that to bubble. I've got a slower pan this time, slower cooker rather, because we usually have gas hob. We've got an electric hob cooker now, and so it's a bit slower at the cooking. But electric hobs always are a bit slower. So get the oat sugar. 5 kilos of sugar. You can use what you like. I reckon 4 kilos is perfectly fine. It's just maybe an ingredient wanting extra. And then Garvin's Universal Wine Yeast. So we're making obviously a pear wine. So first thing I'll do, I've already boiled this kettle. So pour the sugar in. This will be uploaded on Saturday afternoon, actually. Straight away I've done it, I'm uploading. So I've got my orange wine in the front room. Obviously not in the shed this time of year, it's the bare room. It's just not warm enough. Stirring spoon. Right. One kettle's worth in. Put this kettle on to boil. So I'm going to have 2 kettles, and then I'm going to have the hot water from the pan. There we go. So yeah, it's bubbling away, albeit bloody slowly, but I suppose that's the thing. Right. Get stirring. Oh. So like I say, total experiment. It is what it is. And very simple as well, just pears, sugar, yeast and water. It's a noisy kettle, so yes, they're taking a while to bubble away. Maybe I ought to steam them first, but yeah, big bloody pears. Now I don't know how many pears you'd need. I would say a few pound. You can go on the internet, there are lots of recipes on the internet. This is probably the most basic. Other people use Camden tablets and acidities, you know, acid stuff, and other people don't use any of it, they just do it the same as this. So I'm going for the easy option and see where we go really. And what's the betting? But while I'm doing this, someone comes to that door, from my front door. So, bit of a waiting game now. Yeah, looking forward to tonight, reviewing the world's strongest beer. 67%. Oh. I've got my phone on charge. Otherwise I might have used it for just to have a look and see what other recipes are out there. Bloody hell, then I'll take some time, this does. I already had the water boiling when I put them in, and I added a bit of hot boiled water from the hot kettle. Unless it's the coolness inside. Yeah, it's on. Just bloody slow. Tempted this afternoon to go out and get maybe a wine kit. My only thing is, my nearest homebrew shop is Ilkeston, and they're not open at this time of the day on a Saturday, which is a bugger. But I suppose everyone wants to have some time off work, you know, especially if you've been in the brewing trade these last few months, the homebrew trade, because their sales just went through the flipping roof. People discovering how to make their own beers, wines, spirits, all bloody interesting. So yeah, that's still bubbling away, albeit bloody slowly. God, it's like watching paint dry, I've got to be honest. But I've still got the sugar to do anyway, so I can see that being quite a process. So this video is going to be slightly longer than I normally try and do them. Try and keep everything a bit I mean, let's be fair, I don't want the pears mushy, I just want the sugars being able to get out and the flavour. So anyway, it's doing what it's doing. Right, let's go back to the main event, the sugar. And like I always say with sugar, it's like pouring your own coffee, you know. Bloody horrible when someone hasn't stirred it properly and got rid of dissolved all that sugar. And obviously, in homebrewing, you've got to be dissolving the sugar. God knows how to do it on a commercial scale. Unless they have a big stir, and then they must have a big stirrer. One of these days I'll buy something bigger and better, but as it is at the moment, now, there's no resistance from the sugar now, I can't feel any resistance. So really now I'm just waiting for that bugger. Yeah, so there we go. It doesn't look the greatest, I've got to be honest. The colour, ugh. And there's them, and still bubbling away. Not really interesting. It's just a case of waiting. So while I'm waiting, yeah, I could have done a beer review while I wait. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying not to have any drink before I start the live review tonight, because I don't want to be pissed out of my bloody head after about 2 sips. And I had enough last night. I had a wine swifter, shall we say. I think it was more a couple of pints but of wine. And yeah, I fell asleep. I was upstairs quite late, but I did fall asleep. As soon as my head hit that pillow, I put fucking Polar Express on, wanting to watch it. I fell asleep straight away. I don't think I even got past like the first couple of minutes. So, not the best. Wind the wife up as usual. Yeah, she won't be happy. So, yeah, just waiting for these to cook. Bloody hell, electric's really slow. I've not used electric for a long time, and by now the gas hob, everything would be, you know, bubbling away like an absolute biatch. And the water's hot, but yes, the steam coming off, so there's a good thing, I suppose. Oh dear, it's like watching paint dry, it really is. Now, it might be that other people just bang them in and let the sugars bring out the flavour. But I'm doing it this way, see how it goes. I'll give it a few more minutes and then I'll just knock it on the head. See, when you do ginger, you mash ginger up and then you just boil it like that, same with rhubarb, boil it like that, let it get a bit spongy and then chuck it in. But obviously I'm not waiting all fucking day. gets boring. There dear. Okay now. Paint dry. I could have done a live review of this, couldn't I? A live video. At least I had something to talk about. And just chat shit as well while I'm waiting. But yeah, been out working this morning in the rain. But what made me when I started, but by the time I finished at the old fella's, pissing it down. Not very pleasant. But transforming his garden, 2 hour shift at a time. Weeding it, splitting up all his herbaceous plants. And basically I'm going to go around the whole garden and bring colour on a scale that he's not seen since his wife's days. And I'm sure he'll be jolly appreciative of that in the long run. So, I'm not doing very much, fucking hell. Didn't know electric was so damn slow. Unless because I put in the pears in, it's cooled it down massively. The coolness of the pears, and it's got to warm the water back up because the pears being cold. I suppose in some ways it's a bit like an ice cube, isn't it? You know, you put ice cube into hot water, you're going to cool it down, and I presume that's what's gone off. But I wanted to show you the pears before I put them in, otherwise I could have done this and, you know, been halfway through it all by now. Oh, bollocks, spilt some. Oh shit, spilt some more. That'll please the wife. So, bit of a ball ache waiting, I must admit. And I ain't got a clue how I'm going to pour it into there when I've done. So yeah, looking at Homebrew kits this year. St. Peter's Cream Stout is high on my radar. I've done the honey porter, I've done Ruby Red. But yeah, the Cream Stout is a definite interest. Other than that, there was a beer that I seen that was a Golden Glory. I think it was half mash, where you mash the grains and that. But I'm not. I don't think I'm that. I've only got basic kit. So I ate a fucking bucket. I haven't got all the brewing things and all that, what they do. So I think I'll leave that one. I think for now anyway. I mean, at some stage, you know, trying to do home brewing that way. Maybe something I'll go down in some route. So this is so boring. Jesus, mother of God. So if you fall asleep during this video, I do apologise. And I don't know how to edit the videos. I suppose I really ought to learn and take out 10 minutes and you know, cut a chunk out. I've done it on YouTube before where I had to learn how to cut out my address, and that was an interesting process. So, bubbling away now. Obviously the sugar is doing what it's doing. And I think while I wait, I think I'm going to get it up to about 22 litres. Like that with cold water. So while I'm stood here like a lemon, I can actually finish the job quite quickly in the end. Will it work in the end? I have no idea. Some of these experiments are simply experiments. I would say probably a better way of doing it if you can get pear juice and actually do a pear juice wine that way. But obviously the pears are free. I spent £3 on the sugar, £1 on the yeast. It doesn't really owe me a lot. If it fails, you know. And it gets rid of some of this water out of here because it's going to spill over in a minute. Alright, it's still diddling away. Now you would think that the flavours would start to seep out now that I'm also really interested in doing a rice wine, a sake. Been called sake before, so a sake wine would be quite interesting. I get to about 21 litres. I want a new red wine kit for Christmas as well. Love Brewing do a good range of their Wineworks kits are quite good for the price. And you've got a couple of kits on there that you can't get in any other wine kit. You know, grape kits. Right, 20, so we'll put another one in. I'm going to go up to 25 litres in total. Obviously because of the pear factor, I ain't going to get 25 litres obviously. So, what can I say? Starting to do something. Yeah. Certainly the ones lower down have cooking quite nicely, should we say. The ones at the top are still about quite green. So as you can see, still not bubbling away fast though. You know, it's still got a rampant flipping fast bubble on it. But anyway, I'm going to transfer it over to here, and this is the interesting part. Turn it off. Right. Here's where I don't want to get fucking burnt. I need to take some more water out. I don't trust it. Kind of put too much water in, really. You know, the things you do, you learn, don't you? You know, in life, you do learn with things, and I'm already hesitant at the fucking mess it's going to make. It may well be that I get one of me. We've got our tongs over there. I may get one of the tongs and use that. So just pour that away. Right. Do come in handy. Move this over slightly. Bring this over and just take out some of the stuff at the top. Just so it doesn't splat too much on the way down. And it might be that I'll take quite a lot of them this way, just to stop the splattage, as it were. So you can, the smell of the pear is starting to it's starting to come through. So that's good. And you know, they'll take some of the sugar in. They'll release the flavours. I've done this with rhubarb and say ginger, and it has released the flavours quite nicely. And if we can do it with this, I'm tempted to do like a plum. I mean, I'd really like to get a plum essence, quite a sweetish plum essence, so I can add it to a beer kit. And add it at the end of the after fermentation, on the second, you know, as part of the secondary fermentation, or just before it goes into the barrel or the bottle. And that's where them syrups that you can get these days, Tate and Lyle syrups at B&M sell, and you get some with coffee, syrup, all sorts of different syrups. Right, we're nearly there. Now when I actually there we go. That saved a bit of mess. I was not looking forward to trying to pour that in, because obviously you've got the splats of high heat. Right, slightly more than 25, but obviously a couple of litres is probably the pears itself. So we'll give it a stir. Albeit not much of a stir because it's solid. These bloody things in the way. And let me show you. And there we go. You can see the coloration on some. They've started to go. I suppose you could leave it longer and get them nice and mushy. I didn't want them mushy because it's a sort of like pain in the arse at the other side. As long as it releases the flavour, and because it's in a sugar mix and it's bubbling away, and the yeast all, you know, with all them sugars, the sugars that are in the pears and the 5 kilos of sugar as well, should make for an interesting brew. It's an experiment. It could go wrong. Who knows? Bang the yeast on. Make sure it's not hot. Make sure it's lukewarm. If in doubt, always follow the instructions. You know, and get yourself a thermometer. I always go lukewarm, and then usually that's all right. So you can smell that yeast. It smells like making bread, pear bread, and yeah. Alright. So, there's no to show you really, well I will show you, but there you go. And we'll see. Oops. We'll see what happens. What I will say is always use a big, when you're doing anything with fruit, always use a wide net fermentation bucket. I've got one of these thin neck jobbies. It's thin at the top and it's a shit bag. Absolute shit bag. To get the stuff out and to clean as well. I mean, I also can use one of my barrels for doing brewing in, and there's another issue. You brew it in the barrel, then you have to clean the barrel out afterwards. And again, it's not the easiest. Right, that's it for this video. It's going to be very, very interesting, none the least. And then we'll see how I go. I don't know what to expect. I've had success with other ones. Elderflower was an amazing success, albeit those shitty bugs. Oh, disgusting things. But yeah, you know, it's great. You know, you can try, can't you? And that's all that matters. Right, thanks for watching. See you soon. Cheers.